Well, I did it again. I bought more Amaryllis than I know what to do with. Actually, I know what I'm going to do with them, but I went crazy. Again this year, I bought close to 10 different varieties of Amaryllis, and the pile goes on and on. Some might say I have a problem with Amaryllis. My wife definitely says that. But each year, I like to grow different Amaryllis. And I like the different varieties that are available. You might recognize getting an Amaryllis, and you've seen them in a box, a gift box during the holidays. And so with that, I like more than what the boxes offer. There's pink, white, red, two tones, simple colors. But these are the varieties that I got this year. But I'm going to show today just how simple it is to plant an Amaryllis and some of the planting techniques that I use. So when I get the varieties out of the bag, you want to look at the condition of the bulb. Make sure that they're nice and healthy. No bruising, no rotting. They've been shipped across the oceans. Most Amaryllis, even though they're native to South America, South and Central America, they are grown, cultivated stock is mostly grown in South Africa and in Holland. And so then shipping them across the world to various locations, sometimes bulbs can be damaged. So you always want to make sure that your bulbs are in healthy condition. These are starting to grow. You can see in this one package that I have to get planted. I've got some that are trying to grow out of the sacks. And so you want to get them planted as quickly as possible. Now, if you buy them from a garden center, usually you just buy individual varieties, one bulb at a time. If you buy them online, they're again, one variety at a time, and so, or however many that you want to try. And so, but the possibilities are endless. So with all the wonderful varieties. And so that's why I like it to get them every year. So in looking at these, when you see these new look at like tips or leaves growing out of the bulbs, with the Amaryllis, the flower stalk always emerges first. And so what you're going to see here is the flower stalk. And then as they start to grow and emerge, they're going to start to look like this. The swelling of these flowers. This was a variety I planted that came in, and they were very anxious to get growing. Now you might ask what the difference is between a European and a South African bulb. South African varieties usually bloom in 3 to 4 weeks, whereas the European varieties usually take 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes as late as 10. The growers actually say that bloom time can vary from December to April. With that, after looking at your Amaryllis, making sure that they are fine, you see the stalks, so I need to get these planted. You might notice some growth coming on the side of these. These are baby Amaryllis, or called bulblets. It's okay to break them off. Usually, if you were to break these off, plant them themselves, sometimes it would take 3 years before they would actually produce a flower. So we're ready to plant. What I have, I've got these terracotta pots. I like to plant my Amaryllis in terracotta pots. One, they're heavy, they're clay. They will hold the plant. When some stalks for Amaryllis can vary between 18 inches and 30 to 36 inches. And so if you imagine plants growing that tall and they're getting a flower blossom, they can be top heavy and they can tip over. With clay pots, it usually helps in keeping them upright as they grow. But choosing the right size of pot also is important. The size of bulb can determine the size of pot that you want. You don't want it to be much larger than an inch, maybe upwards of 2 inches larger, having the pot larger than the bulb. So this 6-inch clay pot is perfect for the size of bulbs that I am planting. I like to work with pre-moistened potting soil. That way it has moisture down for these roots that I'm putting. That way I don't have to soak the roots. And so what I'm going to do is just add a little to the base, a couple of inches to the base of each of the pots. All right. So with that, I'll take the bulb. Gently pack that in there. Now when planting Amaryllis bulbs, you want to leave the shoulders of the bulb exposed. Don't plant them too deep or so deep that the soil comes up all the way around the neck. Keep it around the shoulders. They actually recommend planting only about 3/4 of the up of the bulb when you're planting them. So you don't want to bury them too deep. So then I'll just tuck some soil around the side. And when you water it, some more of the soil will settle down amongst that. So, you can always come back to add a little more to that. Okay, there again, I kept it on the shoulders, kept it away from the neck of the bulb. And so we'll plant the next one. Now, I was fortunate enough that I remembered what variety I had, but this company actually sent identification tags. And so I'm able to place the variety of what they are in each of the pot. If by chance you don't get an identification tag with your Amaryllis, go ahead and mark your pot. Take a Sharpie, write it on the sides. If you care about the variety, put the variety. And then also the year. That's one thing I have done in the past. This is one I planted last year. This is a striped Amaryllis. So you can just add that right on the pot, and you always know what variety it is. If you want to replace it, should it die, or if somebody sees it, you'll know which one it is. It's simple to plant up a pot or pot up a Amaryllis, and now you just have to sit back and wait. With watering on your Amaryllis, make sure that you get a little carry tray or a saucer to catch water. When you initially plant, there's enough moisture from your moist soil and in the bulb itself for it to start to send out the new stalks. But once these stalks have started to emerge, they're about 2 to 3 inches tall, make sure at that point that you maintain moisture on the soil, checking it every 3 to 4 days. Now, some growers say that excess water will cause the stalks to continue to grow tall and tall and taller, and then that's when you get them to tip over. If you have plenty of light, good quality light, and then a healthy flower, those stalks aren't going to grow uncontrollably. But if they should get taller than what you think, they will have a tendency to tip over. All you need to do is take a bamboo stake, put it next to the bulb, and you can tie the flower stalk off, just like you've done many of with your other houseplants, I'm sure. What is your favorite Amaryllis? Have you found a variety? Share the color, share the variety, and with that, continue to plant Amaryllis. Enjoy the flowers that they offer. Until next time, this is Gary with Successful Gardens, and remember, let's get growing.